Hey, I'm Juan. Thank you for joining me. I want to teach you how to draw support and resistance lines that work. Lines that are going to help you with your trading, your intraday trading, your swing trades, and it's going to make you a better day trader or swing trader. You can sign up with TRADEINGVIEW. They have a free service. I like to go and start with the month. So we have here the month and we stretch it out. You can go down here, start down here, but the likelihood of Amazon ever getting all the way down here is very unlikely. If you want to, you can start one down here. So we'll put one down here. And what I look for is areas where they tap and they have trouble breaking. So you see here in this line, once it broke here, then the same line, it couldn't break it here. Then here, the same line, it couldn't break it here. It tapped it 3 times. 2 or 3 taps for me is a minimum. And then finally it broke. So we know then if Amazon ever falls down to this area, that area is going to be strong support. Now for the colors, I like to differentiate the colors between monthly and weekly. I'll do like kind of like a brown maroon type color to remind me of M for a month. And then we'll say right here, it tapped here. Tapped here. So this area here is good support also. And then you see here, it tapped here, tapped here, tapped here, almost 5 taps on this area here. So this is good resistance. Then we're going to go to the weekly chart, same thing. And for the weekly, I'm going to do white for W. And we'll say that go here, this area here, tapped a bunch of times, tapped it up here twice, and one more here. And then we can go to daily, make this a little bigger, and we'll say that this area here, the daily, we'll say green for the day. These little areas here, tapped it a bunch of times. We say one here, down here, bounce down here a couple times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this area here. Okay, now it seems like a lot, but let's spread it out. Now we see here, this is all red because the government and recent news. But if we go back here and follow these lines, and you saw this big fall here, you see it was all red. You would have not entered in any of these because there was no green confirmation. There was no bullish signal that it was turning around. But once it bounced here, what you like to see is like a wick like this small little wick here, how it tapped this and then it quickly got bought up. That's what the emphasis here. You see it tapped it and then quickly bought up. That's why you have the wick, followed by a green bullish candle. So your interest could have been in here. And after that, it ran up. And I don't just use support and resistance. You're going to want to use moving average. You're going to want to use some sort of indicators, maybe stochastic, RSI. But this is a start to give you the support and resistance. And now let's say you're day trading. We'll go on the 5-minute chart. And look how it works out for day trading. So look at here, it spiked up, went all the way up in one day, and look where it had trouble staying above. This is one of the resistance lines that we made on the green, on the daily. So on the daily, it had trouble staying above the daily. Then it was on the white for the weekly, tapped it here. You see here, it tapped the weekly, bounced off of it a little bit, then broke below it. And look at this perfect tap on the daily. I left the 5-minute for last, so I didn't know how this was going to look. This is just based off of the daily we did. And then broke the weekly. And look at this. It's kind of like hugging the weekly. Look at this perfectly on the weekly. Staying above the weekly. Tap the daily. Daily was resistance. And it's been between the daily and the weekly. Finally broke this weekly. Then it just showed signs of weakness. So you would, maybe some people would have bought a put here once it broke this weekly after all this time. And they saw a lot of selling, maybe another indicator, which would have led you to believe that this was going to start a downtrend, which it did. So if you bought a put here at 3,154, it's trading for $100 cheaper, which would have been major profit. So now, if you're following Amazon, you may want to see what it does here on this daily here. If it bounces down to 3,010, so that would be like a trading plan, right? Let's say when market opens on Monday, now you have a trading plan. This is just a foundation, right? I wouldn't just trade it solely based on this. I would go price action. I would go moving averages, add a few other things, but you have a hypothesis. You say, okay, I want to see what Amazon does at $3,000 and 3,018 right here, this area of support. If it taps it, I want to see some bullish candles. If I see a bullish candle, maybe a red wick and followed by like a green strong candle, I'm going to buy a call here, and possible return to the 3,154 area would be resistance again. But this may be possible support. And then if it breaks this and it's still a bearish signals, then maybe you buy a put for possibly 29.50 here. We have the monthly, or maybe it's going to test this area. So you have kind of an idea of points that you want to see it test. And this is how you build your trades. This is if you see stocks, you build these lines, start watching them during the day trade. Or if you're doing swing trade, you'll do the same thing here, but you'll do it on a daily time frame. You see here this candle. I like this wick here. I wish I would have tapped down here, but I want to see the next day if it opens up as a bullish candle, maybe above this weekly or above these lines here. It may be a possible bounce. See here, it tested this, broke below it, and then finally broke above it. You see the strong green candle. So this would have been an opportunity to take a trade here from 28.60 to 3,000 until you've seen some weakness. And then you see here it came back down, broke below this weekly, and then bounced right back above it. So that's how you build support and resistance. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed that video, watch the next video on the Fibonacci retracement. Thank you, and see you on the next video.